Hello TYT sports fans, hello Facebook fans, hello YouTube fans, hello WWE fans. It's me, Josh Poino, Chief Joshiola, whatever you want to call me. It's been a while. I missed you. We're here back on YouTube. The reason why we haven't been on YouTube here in a while is because we've been doing Facebook Live videos every week. Every Tuesday night at 10:05 p.m. Eastern Time, right after SmackDown, we do 10:05 Live on the TYT Sports Facebook page, and it's been a really good success. So we're really happy with what's happening. People are joining in. They're asking me questions during the little live event. It's a 15 or 20 minute recap of the Raw and the SmackDown from that week. I have a lot of fun interacting with people. They ask a lot of great questions. They bring up a lot of great topics, and TYT Sports loves it. It's been very successful. But it's always a good time to get back to our YouTube roots, where it's a one-way conversation, but as always, we really want you to throw your comments down below. Talk about what we're going to go over here, and then throw out ideas for what you want for our next video. What topics do you want me to address in the world of professional wrestling? Throw them in the comments below. TYT Sports and I will review them, and we'll pick out the best ones. So many of our videos came from user suggestions, just like yours, so please throw them in there. Okay, we're going to go over the Backlash results. Backlash just concluded. We'll go over that, and then a couple other big things that happened, and then I'll get out of your face so you can enjoy the rest of your week. Okay, biggest news. Backlash just ended, and we have a new WWE champion. If I sound excited, it's because I am. That Jinder Mahal is the new WWE champion, and this is what I love about professional wrestling, is that it's supposed to mirror real world sports in a lot of ways. Real sports aren't predictable. Nobody could have predicted that the Golden State Warriors would blow a 3-1 lead in the finals, and that's what happened though. And improbably the Cavaliers came back and won that series. So somebody like Jinder Mahal winning the championship, a lot of people were saying it's not going to happen. He just got the contendership in order to get Randy Orton over some more, because he's kind of been a lukewarm champ. But there's no way he wins. But he does, and he won in a pretty convincing fashion. Yeah, did he win via heel type tactics? Because the Bollywood boys interfered, but I mean, they got a whooping courtesy of Randy Orton himself. But still, in the end, Jinder Mahal got the 3 count, and that's what matters. And he is your new WWE champion, the guy who used to be nothing more than a jobber in this company. And I'm happy to see it, because he is going to be an insufferable champion. Crowds are going to hate his guts, and it's going to be amazing to watch. There is no heat like heel heat, because you can have a champion who the crowd connects with and people like, and they say all these great things like, oh, it's so good to be champ. But Jinder Mahal is going to do the opposite of that. He's going to make fun of people, and crowds are going to despise him. So it's going to be great to see how much of a heel they let him be, because now you've got a guy who comes from a different culture, and so you have to walk a very fine line between using that heel status simply because of a heel status and not really overreaching into something to make it like a cultural issue. So that was the biggest news of the night. I'm happy that Mahal won. I'm glad WWE threw a little bit of a curveball in there and didn't go with the safe pick, which would have been Orton retaining his championship. As for the rest of the card, this was a solid show. As I think not only SmackDown, but WWE needed a pay-per-view that was consistently good from start to finish, and that's exactly what we got. Kickoff show had Ty Dillinger and Aiden English. Ty Dillinger, the perfect 10. He showed why he got called up from NXT. Pretty solid match against Aiden English. He ended up winning. It rolled right into the Usos and Breezango. And I'm sorry, Nakamura and Ziggler was the first match. They needed to kick it off this way because Nakamura was on the poster for Backlash. He was the one that was selling this event. This was his first appearance in a ring since he got called up from NXT. And Nakamura has wrestling credibility that goes all around the world. And I think him facing Dolph Ziggler was a good idea, because Ziggler brings credibility of his own. I mean, he's a former champion. It's not just like he's a guy they grabbed from the back and said, here, face Shinsuke Nakamura. And so it's good to see that we knew Nakamura was going to win. This was one of those softballs where they're not going to have the guy in his premier match getting called up and he's going to lose. But what was great is that somebody like Dolph Ziggler can really match him physically, and they can give a really good match. And that's exactly what they did. I think it was the exact match that they needed, and the exact match to kick off this show, because it's something that's going to be filled with a lot of energy and really set the tone for how the rest of the night was going to go. we rolled right into the Usos versus Breezango. They actually teased us with what we thought was a new episode of the Fashion Files. It ended up just being a repeat of last week, so I was kind of disappointed with that. But again, another really great tag team match. Unfortunately, the prediction didn't go the way I had it. I predicted Breezango to win. If any of you tuned into the Facebook Live video that I did a couple hours ago earlier today, I made all my predictions for this match, or for the card anyway. And so the Usos ended up retaining, which, you know, I can't be upset about it too much because it was a really great match. And I hope that they keep this feud going, and I hope Breezango gets another chance to hold the belts, because if nothing else, the SmackDown tag division really needs something fresh. Let's see. Next, we rolled into Baron Corbin and Sami Zayn. I thought Baron Corbin was going to win this match. I think he's going to be a main eventer here sometime soon. And Sami Zayn ends up winning, which, again, I can't be upset at that because Sami Zayn works so hard. He's a really, really dedicated worker, and he's just been getting trampled on and trampled on and trampled on when it matters most, at pay-per-views. And so for him to actually win a match against a much bigger guy like Baron Corbin really speaks to the confidence WWE has in him moving forward. I think he's going to hold some kind of belt this year. I think I could definitely see him as United States champion, because why not? Because he is that talented. And once AJ Styles and the Kevin Owens feud is over, I'd love to see Sami Zayn jump into that and get his shot at the United States Championship. But for now, he has a victory over Baron Corbin, and that's not a small thing. I mean, literally, it's not a small thing. Then we had the women's match, Naomi, Charlotte, and Becky versus the Welcoming Committee. I predicted the Welcoming Committee would win. My reasoning was wrong, but my result was correct. I thought that there's no way that the quasi faces would work together because Charlotte's in there. I didn't think Charlotte would actually be able to work well with the other good women on the SmackDown roster. I thought she'd turn on them and somehow cause them to lose. But they all worked together pretty well. And unfortunately, Becky Lynch got caught up in the sharpshooter from Natalya, and she tapped out to it. But still, a solid match and a solid showing from the women. The only black mark on this was that James Ellsworth was out there. James Ellsworth needs to visit a foreign country, lose his passport, and never come back. That's all I'm going to say about him. Let's see, what do we have next? Kevin Owens and AJ Styles. Two of the most talented guys on SmackDown, hands down, are these two. So putting them in a match together was perfect. I picked Kevin Owens to retain. He did end up retaining. He retained his United States Championship. It was a little bit of, it certainly wasn't a clean win. AJ Styles got his leg caught in one of the announcers' tables, and then his foot was wrapped up in some wires. So he's trying to get out, and he's kind of hanging upside down, and the ref's counting out, and he ended up getting counted out. So Kevin Owens retains his championship in the best way that a heel can retain their championships, which is a way that leaves open the match where you could say, well, AJ didn't get pinned. He didn't lose so much in the same sense, so it just begs for a rematch. And I think these guys are going to go all the way until SummerSlam because their feud is that good and they're so talented working together. It reminded me a lot of Kevin Owens' first match against John Cena, where you just see these really high-flying, high-impact maneuvers from these two guys, and every time they hit something like a power bomb off of the apron or some kind of really nasty backbreaker off the top rope, you just think, you know, he's got to be hurt for real, because that really looks like it hurt. But that's what we got in this match again and again and again. It just hits you over and over again, and it was extremely entertaining. Then we had Harper and Rowan. This was kind of a toss-up for me. I picked Harper to win, and he did win. I wish this match had more build-up. These are two guys who used to work together in the Wyatt family, and now they're pitted against each other. They're two of the largest men in the WWE, so I would have really liked to have seen something more with that. But we got just kind of a really random match just between the biggest guys in the business, at least on SmackDown anyway. And then we go to the main event, which we've already discussed. Jinder Mahal is your new WWE champion, and I'm happy to see it. So good for us. Okay, let's go over a couple other things really quick. Backlash was brought to you by Rocket League. WWE has partnered up with Rocket League, which is a video game. I'm an avid gamer. I've been an avid gamer since I was a kid. I personally didn't know what the Rocket League was, and then I started digging into it, found out that it's part of eSport, this new thing where they have a League of Legends, they have Call of Duty tournaments, they have Street Fighter tournaments, they have all of these things, and they play for serious cash. This is not just a bunch of kids getting together playing video games. This is real money. People make a living off of this thing, and the Rocket League game is basically like soccer, but with rocket-powered cars. Reading the reviews of it, all the reviews are overwhelmingly positive, and it's said to be highly addictive just because it's so much fun. It has over 31 million players worldwide, since it's mostly an online game. 31 million people. That's what makes it appealing to WWE. So they have this great partnership where the developer Psyonix is going to present Backlash, and they're presenting Great Balls of Fire in July. What that means is they're going to have versions of their game in the arena so that fans can play. More than likely, a lot of WWE fans do play this game or play video games in general. So the merging of these two things, it only makes sense, because Rocket League wants to introduce WWE stuff into their game. That might mean skins for the cars. That could mean WWE themed arenas or something like that. But WWE really wants to show this audience who play these games, who may not be wrestling fans, that they have some kind of association and possibly bring some of them into the fold. So it's absolutely a win-win. Esports is a huge industry. It's estimated to bank about $2 billion by 2018. So if you think video games are just for nerds, that may be true, but it's for really rich nerds. So you do yourself a favor and don't underestimate this kind of thing that moving forward. NXT TakeOver Chicago was also the other night. I don't want to do a review of it here because I could do a whole nother video on that. If you didn't get a chance to see it and you have a WWE Network subscription, do yourself a favor, take some time out and go watch it. It was absolutely amazing. Tyler Bates is fantastic. Everybody on that show was good, so go watch it, please. Braun Strowman, he's out 6 months. He had elbow surgery. WWE confirmed it. A couple other sources confirmed it. There was some back and forth. We weren't really sure. Is he legitimately out, or was that a work and he was going to make a surprise comeback at some time? But no, he is out for 6 months due to elbow surgery, and that's not the kind of thing the WWE wants to play around with. That means he's going to be out until probably Survivor Series, which isn't until November. That means a complete reworking of the entire schedule, because more than likely he was going to challenge Brock Lesnar for his Universal title sometime soon, but now they have to rework that. And we'll get into where that fits in here in a second. Billy Corgan has purchased NWA, the National Wrestling Alliance. For the longest time, the NWA was it. That was everything about wrestling was the NWA. It was founded in the 40s. At one time, WWE was a part of that. WCW was a part of that. New Japan Pro Wrestling was a part of that. New Japan Pro Wrestling is the second largest and most profitable wrestling organization in the world, just after WWE. So if Billy Corgan wants to be taken seriously as a wrestling promoter and owner, I can see him trying to bring New Japan back in the fold. They left in 2010, so they kind of do their own thing. But it wouldn't be surprised if Corgan tries to bring them back in and says, look, if we want to compete globally with WWE, we can do that, but he's going to need New Japan to come in on that. So not sure if that's his vision, if that's what he wants to go, if that's the direction he wants to go, but we'll see. So Billy Corgan is the new owner of the NWA, which sounds a little weird, but that is what it is. Finally, the next pay-per-view, Extreme Rules. That's on June 4th. The biggest match they have scheduled is the Fatal 5-Way for the #1 contenders match. #1 contender for Brock Lesnar's Universal Championship. And that 5-Way is going to be Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, Finn Balor, Bray Wyatt, and Samoa Joe. Who's going to win that? I don't know. We're going to do some further predictions later on down the road as we get closer to that. But it's going to be... I could see anybody winning. However, I will say, if Roman Reigns is victorious in that match, expect a literal riot to happen in the arena. I absolutely think that there will be a literal riot if Roman Reigns wins and becomes the #1 contender for the Universal title. So, I know we just breezed through a lot of stuff, and so it was a busy night. It was a great night. It really good. If you didn't get a chance to catch Backlash live, catch it on the replay. You won't be disappointed. It was fantastic. All the matches really delivered. There really wasn't one that I could say was just a throwaway that was forgettable in that way. Even the Harper and Rowan match had its moments with two big guys in there. So bravo, WWE. You got this one right, and you actually gave us a very entertaining pay-per-view, start to finish. Well worth the $9.99 a month. So that's all I've got. I will see you guys on Tuesday night at 10:05 for 10:05 Live on the TYT Sports Facebook Live page. Please join me. Yeah, throw in your comments, questions during the video, after the video, whatever you want, and we'll address it at that time. All right. Thanks, guys. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.